Hi, I'm Liz Gardner. I'm an assistant professor in public relations here in the College of Media and Communication. I've had the opportunity to teach a variety of classes, but the ones that I tend to teach most often are public relations campaigns. I'm also doing an integrated communications campaigns this semester at the graduate level, where we bring together PR, advertising, marketing, a lot of different forms of strategic communication. I also love nonprofit public relations. I've taught that class a few times, as well as research methods and some advertising at the graduate level. Basically anything that lets me teach students to use communication for good rather than for evil. I love bringing nonprofits into the classroom and really working on applied work and demonstrating to students the true benefit of service learning. So for my educational background, I come from North Carolina, so I did my undergraduate at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and am a Tar Heel through and through, though definitely still a Red Raider. After that, I worked for a few years in Atlanta. When I was in undergrad school, I worked in public relations for a hospital, also interned at a museum for life and science, a type of science museum, if you will, and did some work with student government as well. When I moved to Atlanta, I worked on the healthcare team of Porter Novelli Public Relations, one of the top agencies in Atlanta. I got to work with clients like the CDC, the Arthritis Foundation, the American Cancer Society. Also did a little work on their technology and new business teams as well. After that, I decided I was tired of the corporate world, headed back to grad school down the road at Austin, which I try to keep a little quiet, but I did get my master's at UT, but they are last on my list of schools I will ever cheer for. After that, traveled up to Missouri and got my PhD at the University of Missouri in Columbia. And after that, came down here, and I've been a Red Raider since. I would say my teaching style is I try to balance having fun and treating students like adults, not holding a lot of hands, certainly, but I also am the kind of person that if you're looking for an easy class, mine are not the ones to take. I expect a lot out of my students, but in return, I try to give a lot. I like to make the classroom fun and exciting and bring in examples from the real world, but I also expect students to turn in thoughtful work. If they learn nothing else from my classes, I hope that they emerge critical thinkers who learn to solve problems on their own and emerge with an interest in this world and how communication shapes it, how it can shape it, and find something that interests them. Certainly the knowledge and the skills we teach are important, but if you can walk out of my classroom at the end of a semester engaged in something and learning how to think critically about that and start to find some answers on your own, then I feel I've been successful. My research, I focus on health communication, which really pulls both from my professional experience as well as what I teach in the classroom as well. Health communication is a very broad area. My niche, I suppose, tends to be looking at strategic health message design. Basically, how can we design messages that help people, particularly underserved populations, make smarter health decisions for themselves? I'm also interested in why we're resistant to persuasion. We have so many messages out there telling us things that we can be doing to improve our health, but we resist so many of them. And so starting to understand why it is that people are resistant, whether it's the message itself is a failure, it's delivered in the incorrect way, it doesn't have a true understanding of the audience that it's reaching, and finding ways ultimately to overcome that resistance and help people help themselves, to sound a little cheesy. You know, it's always been a passion of mine ever since I was an undergraduate working in public relations. It was my teachers, my professors back then, who would work with nonprofits. We would do service learning classes, and with my early internship and work experience being in a hospital, I truly saw the power of public relations and strategic communication to help make this world a better place and help people learn to take better care of themselves, make smarter decisions for themselves, for their families, for the people around them. And so when I was working in Atlanta at the PR firm, we were doing things like trying to spread awareness of some CDC some work they'd been doing, trying to encourage people to try things like Tai Chi to battle their arthritis, really working with cancer survivors through the American Cancer Society. And so I've always just had this interest in the health area, as well as in strategic communication. And so finding ways that we can bring persuasion into the real world has just led me to where I am now.